Hey, wait a minute.
Hey everybody! So, in the last video I said at the very end that I was going to be doing a video about a 8-year-old server, and well, things kind of spiraled out of control and I ended up with 2 servers. You can tell because I can lift this one off the top and they're separate. So it's not a 4U server, it's just 2 2U servers. What am I even talking about? Well, what you're looking at here is a Dell PowerEdge R510 and a Dell PowerEdge R710. If you're wondering why there's nothing here, it's because whoever had this before me decided to replace this part, and they covered this Dell logo on the top cover and the Dell logo on the front. I don't know. I guess they were insecure about the fact they bought Dell servers, but these things are actually kind of great. I just love Dell servers. I have an HP ProLiant micro server, and I have never bought another HP ProLiant product. Also, as a side note, I just learned the other day functions of the cameras on my phone, realizing that all of the footage that I have filmed with this thing so far has been a 13 megapixel camera, when if I just didn't use the dual screen mode, I could have been filming with 64 megapixels and more options for video quality. Whoops! My bad. Anyway, so with the purchase of these 2 servers, or rather, the purchase of this one and the refund of this one, I've decided to take the liberty to redo the entire server room, or home lab, as many people call it, because this is not a business, this is not professional. I'm literally just a kid in his basement doing IT work for myself. So anyways, let me just describe a little bit more of this to you. So, yeah, story was, I bought this one. This one is from 2012, actually, although these are both the same generation. The Dell PowerEdge 11th generation, hence the R510 and the R710. The one in the middle is the generation. The next generation is the R720, R730, R740, 11th gen, 12th gen, 10th gen, because I got curious and I realized the 10th gen actually sucked, realizing they didn't really innovate at all compared to the 9th gen, which I do have a server from. And that was my very first ever rack server. So I have a Dell PowerEdge 1950, and that has been in my server room since the beginning of 2020. It's gone through a few different systems. The main one has been server 2012, although before I pulled the hard drive from it, it was running VMware, and it was running, well, it's supposed to be running a VM of Windows Server 2012, which was running a domain, which I accessed through the HP ProLiant micro server in worse condition than you've last seen. Yes, I pulled the DVD drive, and yes, I had a very good reason for doing so. This was originally meant to be my NAS, although, and it still has the hard drive with Windows Server 2008 on it. Can't install anything newer than that. I wish I could. And these 2 caddies were running 2 3-terabyte hard drives, which were kind of just sitting around doing nothing, because I never figured out how to actually get them to share over a network. Whoops again. You can clearly see I have no idea what I'm doing ever. And this server, I am just gonna, I'm gonna leave it kind of decommissioned for now. I'll pick, actually I might need this at some point, but eventually the plan is when I go off to college, I'm not gonna be able to access all of this until I get out, and I'm gonna need a backup plan. That's what this server's gonna be. That's why I'm gonna keep it around. Eventually my home lab is probably going to be in a college dorm somewhere, and this will be a nice little server with that is good on power, that has 4 hard drive slots. It's not super powerful or anything, but it will do what I need it to do, which is to be a dedicated NAS. And that's what we're going to be making in this video today. Putting that aside, the server room is now going to consist of three systems. 2 of them you're looking at, And the third one is the PowerEdge 1950, because I refuse to get rid of that server. I don't know, it's kind of special to me. I really do like that system, even though it's very loud, probably garbage on power, even though it's running on one power supply, and it has been running on one power supply for a very long time now. Never got it with a second one. Both of these systems have two, so the main focus of this video is going to be get this server up and running. This one is going to be running Windows Server probably 2016, because I don't have a license for 2019 and 2020. Server 2022 was probably a piece of junk, so server we're going to be throwing server 2016 on here. This one down here, because this was originally supposed to be the NAS, but kind of fell through when I bought this one, and then got refunded for this one. Never really expecting it to show up, even though this one showed up before this one did. It's a whole confusing story that I don't really feel like getting into. Maybe on my next live stream I'll get into that story. This, because it does have hard drives, believe it or not, actually, this one has 8 hard drive bays, and that's kind of the main reason that I bought it. And all of them have caddies, but looking in here, all of them look like this. So we're going to be putting some hard drives in here. So because this one here actually came with hard drives, this one I'm probably going to turn into a dedicated VMware box. I think I'm just going to tie these two together. We'll do that in the next video, also known as the start of Season 3, because, funny announcement, by the way, this is the end of Season 2. I know, I've been keeping it up since 2019, but I think it's finally time we start fresh. Maybe try to make things a little bit more consistent like they were in 2018, as inconsistent as that year was. For now, we're going to focus on getting this thing up and running with the 3 terabyte hard drives from the other server, and we're going to turn this thing into a dedicated NAS. So before we get too far in, let me just show you a little bit around this system, eh? Why not? So there's plenty of hardware differences in here between the 710 and the 510 here. Like, the 710 has hot swappable fans, you'll see that later. These ones have a cable that goes to the motherboard, so you can't hot swap them. Just like the 1950 I have in the server room at the moment. This one actually has a disk drive. The 710 didn't come with one. Hard drive caddies have no hard drives in them. Here is the main thing. Well, besides the fact that this is the first for me, this system has 2 CPUs. I looked them up, and they are, which came out in 2009, so which corresponds to this generation. So yeah, fun times. There's no extra networking cards, although I highly doubt we're gonna need that. If we do, though, here's a backup option. This is a card that I pulled from the 1950 because I didn't need it. We could just kind of slap that in and have it work. Here's the main issue that we're going to have, though. So some of you who don't know much about servers might be wondering what this thing is, this card. It's just randomly here. This is the Dell PerK6i RAID controller. Put that back on yet, so yeah, Dell PerK6i. Now the reason that's going to be an issue is because this card is fine enough, except it has a limit of 2 terabytes per hard drive. So yeah, that's not going to fly with 3 terabyte hard drives, because eventually I plan to have whole thing populated with 3 terabyte hard drives. Maybe more in the future. So yeah, that's going to have to go, buddy. Okay, so the battery cable is not disconnecting easily. There we go. And then I remember I have to pull these cables too. Okay, there's that. Give me a little bit something better. Let me find it a little bit. Gonna need this, a hardware-controlled Dell PerK H700. Same idea, but it does require new cables, which are literally just regular SAS cables. And I could have gotten an H200 card, but I do not intend to use Linux. This is going to be running Windows Server because I'm an idiot and that's all I know. So there you go. Hopefully this actually works though. Okay, that's what this cable's for. That's gonna go into the riser card. Battery's gonna plug straight in, and we're gonna have to pull the cables from the backplane board. Okay, so this SB is apparently gonna be the easy one. Which is the longer right angle one. See, clearly we never do things with quite the right way we're supposed to out here. Which makes me totally qualified to own enterprise grade servers. So we're actually going to try to see. We're going to do it this way. So we're going to plug this in here. You can't actually see any of this. This goes into here. And then we got this down under the riser card and to the RAID controller. Which is going to be needed if we want any hard drives. Pull that cable and battery cable loops around here for some reason. Yes, the RAID card does have its own separate battery. Which could be run to a better spot. Whoever made this thing, that was here first. Yeah. Now she closes here. The frame is kind of bent, so yeah, I have the best standards. Oh, I forgot. We got to take this off. Okay, so no joke. Through the magic of editing, the little front piece is now off, which is meant to, if you want to plug it into an actual PCI Express slot and use it in something other than a Dell PowerEdge server, you can do that, I guess. I don't know, maybe it's for the tower servers, but the screw heads that were used to put that metal bracket on, the screws had screw heads that were so soft that they immediately rounded off with any screwdriver I tried to use with these. Why won't it autofocus? So what I did was I did a thing called taking a drill and just drilling out the screws, and that got it. So yeah, no more metal piece. Hopefully this thing still works. I don't think I got to any of the electronics because the screw heads are way far away from that. So this thing should. I'm gonna connect this first. If there are any issues. It does. That. Hey, there are SATA ports on here. Near completo, yippee. I put my card in here. By the way, I'm swearing now. I've decided I have a new system. Every time I swear, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna translate it to a foreign language so YouTube doesn't figure me out. Even though I have no monetization. And there we go. We have now installed a new RAID card. I think we're done inside the system. So now I can put this cooling shroud, whatever, back on. It all fit. I'm putting it on the wrong way. Really, I am in the pinnacle of standards. Although this goes on significantly worse than it did before. There, the cables are bending. There we go. Now it's all properly installed. And rather than testing it, because I really don't have anything to test with, at the moment there's really nothing to actually test the system with. Until, like, 5 seconds from now. Hooray. So here's what we got to do. So here we have two 3 terabyte hard drives that are really old and run on SATA, and are 7,200 RPM, which is going to be great when I actually have to buy new drives for this thing. So here's what we're going to do. Since we have the caddies, we don't have to do this super jank, but at the same time, we kind of do. Because I refuse to keep spare screws around. First victim is this thing. Hitachi hard drive. So instead of actually screwing it in, here's what we're going to do. We use the caddy as a bit of a guide. Push the hard drive in until it makes contact with the backplane board, and push the rest of the caddy in. I did this with my other server. It's worked just fine for the last year or so. Oh, that's fitting significantly worse. Okay, yeah. Start putting this in. Put it in enough where I can still access the hard drive. Push it to the point where it makes contact with the backplane board. Pull this out a little bit because I can't access it anymore. Does that do it? That worked. That appears to be making contact. Okay. And now it's locked and loaded, ready to go. So now we actually do have something to test the card with. So we're gonna make sure this all works real quick before we actually install anything on it. And in addition, we will now set up the RAID array that this has been leading to. Hopefully you can read the status messages that are about to show up on the screen. 1 power supply. Yes, these systems have 2 power supplies for redundancy. Does that mean? It means if one goes bad, it can still run off the other. These are 750 watt power supplies. And, yeah. There's 2 of them. That's how much power it takes to run this system. Okay, it did this last time. It ramped up the fans because it thought that the system was open, and it wasn't, and then it calmed back down to this level. This is better than the other server, which decided to immediately ramp up the fans as fast as it could as soon as I plugged in one power supply. Ooh. Brace yourselves, everyone, because it's server time. Woo. Have not tried this one yet, but I don't believe it has anything on it, despite having two 300 gigabyte hard drives. Alright, I'm going to try to run this on one power supply, if that's even possible. Okay. Hey, it's... Well, that fired straight up. Hey, we got... Oh, I don't think we got anything on the screen. Ooh! Ooh! System booting. Okay. Uh-oh. Power supply 2. 5... Okay, I think it's complaining because the other power supply is not plugged in. 1 2 GHz quad-core processor. Foreign configurations found on adapter. Press any key to continue. Ooh. Oh boy. If I press this button, it starts... Oh. Yeah, it starts blinking. That's cool. This is actually supposed to help if you're running an actual, like... This is actually running on a rack, so you can identify servers easier. Which at one point it clearly was. Okay. Oh. Okay, just import things then. Let's see if I can find anything on here. Ooh, hey. That is Virtual Disk 1, Virtual Disk 0. Ooh, hey, there's nothing available on there. Yay, let's see if it'll actually boot anything now. I swear if it starts Windows Server or something. It's not gonna start. Oof. Well, it was worth a try. We'll get back to this later. Storage SAS-B cable is not connected. Interesting. I picked that up. Or is improperly. Configuring memory, please wait. And the other thing I noticed is that this thing seems to have 2 bad RAM sticks. The thing is fully populated with 8 gig sticks, but 2 of them seem to have gone bad, so it's running on 48 gigs of RAM instead of 64, which is what it's supposed to be running. Hopefully that made any kind of sense to you. It's still throwing the SAS-B error, which is very concerning. I did pay for the cable separately, for the cable as well, so that is kind of garbage. Unless that's a problem with the fact that, unless it's a problem with the RAID card itself, because there's nothing connected to that plug, that might be it. That could also be something we can set up, because the RAID card does become an option during the boot up process. Some of you that are also familiar with 2010 Dell know that this BIOS screen looks very old. What the heck is up with it? And the answer is, yeah, Dell has been using for the PowerEdge servers, probably the same. Oh, wait a second. No, it's running 64 gigs of RAM. Memory/battery problems were detected. Adapters recovered, but okay. I think I fixed the memory issue. Yeah. Load the configuration utility. Yes. Okay then. So here we go. Perk H700 with the 2 drives that we're going to need. So, F2, please. F2. Hello? Yeah. So the thing is, before we can even use the drives, we actually do have to create a virtual drive, which is the RAID itself. F2. Start. Okay. Perhaps that's for identification. But stop. I think I might be able to do that though. So add this. Yeah, we're gonna leave it RAID 0. Just call it NAS. That's what it's gonna be. I have a name. Thanks. Don't need any advanced stuff. Just make the RAID controller happen. Okay. So can I format it? Initialization. Start initialization. Yeah. Wipe the drives. Okay, this is boring. We're gonna just use the magic of editing to skip this process. Okay, we are on day 2 because I let that operation go through the night, which, then realizing how long it actually takes to format 6 terabytes worth of hard drives. Anyways, so we've been on this computer, which is my main computer. Oh, that's why. Take this flash drive, which I believe has server 2008 on it, and we're gonna replace that. Now, because I don't actually have a license for what in the world is disk H, though? Did I really think it was a good idea to partition a flash drive? Okay, yeah, this is the overflow drive, which is a terabyte in size. This is... Okay. Disk management time. There is no drive H. That just isn't even a thing. It comes from nowhere, actually, so... Yeah. Okay, then. So... Okay, well, we're gonna have to delete that, or wait. Can I flash 2 systems at a time? We gotta get the system first, so... Okay. Well, I thought the site actually had server 2016, but it seems they're down at the moment. Okay, I will find a solution to this. Don't you worry. I may have 2012 somewhere that I can just use in the meantime, and upgrade it later. I do not plan to install Server 2008 on here because that's a bit old, mate. Be right back. Okay, so once again, it seems that your boys over at archive.org have come in clutch again, and I found Windows Server 2016 Data Center. Yay! So I can go ahead and download this to the overflow drive. Yeah, I just saved it here. And it's going to take a while, so I will report to you when this is done. Or more likely when I get back from school. Probably tomorrow, actually. At some point, we'll get back to this. Oh, you want to know what I'm doing? Well, see, what I'm doing here is what's known as a terrible idea. So I came to an epiphany and realized that what I was going to do wasn't actually going to work properly with the way I wanted to do things. So, here we are, using VMware Workstation to install Windows Server 2016 to a flash drive that will plug into the computer, the server, and act as the hard drive. So right here, I'm in disk management, trying to figure out which one's the flash drive. Oh, hey, it does have the system inserted. Now I gotta go find a product key. Oh, hey, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I think I would have the wrong ISO, actually. Oh, wait. Oh, this must be 2008. Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's not exactly what I wanted. So, I booted the Server 2008 installer, which is on the flash drive. I'm going to need this thing to go ahead and boot to the CD-ROM drive before it boots to the hard drive. There we go. Oh, hey, it doesn't even allow me to access it anymore. Okay. Install now. I'm going to use these provided KMS keys from Microsoft. These are it's actually really easy to find. Microsoft literally provides them. It doesn't activate the system, it just lets you get past this part. I have other ways of getting past the activation. And I realized I could have clicked this and gotten past it. Whatever. Yeah, I hope this works. We want the desktop experience, so I can actually use the system. Yes, so format. It's actually going to let us install to it, I think. Yes, it will. Okay, hopefully this goes fast. It is. Oh no, shit! It's running on USB 2, not USB 3. The flash drive is capable of running on USB 3, but the port is a USB 2 port because the case is an old one from 2008. This might take a while. Do consider though, this is running on flash storage, and that does mean there is a speed increase. whenever this says to restart. So I'm actually going to stop the installation here on this end, and hopefully everything just transfers over to the server and it can install everything it needs to from there. Once we get the operating system up and running, we can take it to its true home. Yay! Can't wait to show you the server room, also known as the spider-infested hellhole. You may want to restart, but it's not going to restart. So, do I have access to the flash drive now? It would seem that I do. Hooray! Date modified 2018. So yeah, let's see if that even worked. May or may not have noticed these ports here on the server before, but yeah. It has internal USB ports, and I believe it's specifically for this purpose. I mean, usually you don't run Windows on a USB flash drive, because it doesn't let you install that. Unless you trick it, like I just did. So hopefully, it manages to start up. And maybe we can prove Colin wrong about his observation for operating systems on USB flash drives.
The idea is you just boot your operating system off of that. Now, Windows obviously isn't going to fly with that.
Power has been applied. We shall now go ahead and plug in the VGA cable. We now initialize the server. The system is, in fact, booting. That's what the little screen says. Still complaining about SAS-B being disconnected. I did get in contact with the seller, and I got no further into figuring out what that actually meant, because they are, in fact, not an IT expert. So, that's a little bit unfortunate, but we're gonna see if this works. Still configuring memory. Hopefully it's still reading 64 gigs. It wasn't originally in the listing, but it was last time we had it started up here. I seriously do think the SAS-B error has something to do with the fact that the port on the card itself is not actually connected. Also, not a huge fan of how long it takes for these servers to start up. Hard drives have power. Alright, we're gonna hope that the configuration is still there. Okay, it is still there, because we have one virtual drive. SAS-B cable missing, / misconfigured controller missing. Okay then, so it is complaining about the fact that the SAS is not okay. Doesn't like that very much. So let's go into here. First off, memory settings. Yeah, okay. We are all good here. Here's a fun thing. Turbo mode. We need a fun name for the server. I'll have to come up with something later. I don't know what to call the server yet. Anyways, boot settings, that's what we want. So, boot mode is BIOS, boot sequence is, it's not seeing the USB drive. Try that. I want to boot the. No. I want plus. There we go. Save changes. Oh, and now I came up with a name for it. That is great. Okay, well, hopefully I remember it and then put it in later. But I believe the name for the server is going to be Hyperspeed. Part of it is because it's running on. It's going to be running a Hyper-V virtual machine for the NAS side of things, and the other part is because of the actual specs of the server. Is the best server I have so far. It has more RAM than my actual computer, which we were installing the system from. Wait, is it actually? No way. It worked? I don't think you're seeing this quite properly. We are starting Windows off a flash drive. Is still trying to boot. That's something you want to see. That is progress. Getting ready. I'm sure you are. Do you remember that this version is based on Windows 10, as is 2019? And only recently did I realize that you can actually do Server 2019 and get a non-evaluation license. Pirates always seem to find a way to figure out how to make things work and do it for free. Server still does seem to have an IP address, so maybe the remote management is just part of the server and isn't part of a card, or maybe there is an internal card for the iDRAC thing. Also, it seems that we have approached the actual setup. So for now, until I get a domain set up, we're just gonna make the password Windows 2 2016. Capital W. Well, now it seems to accept it. This keyboard has kind of been acting up. This is why this keyboard is not actually hooked up to my main computer at the moment, because it was being weird and acting up and not working exactly like it's supposed to, which sucks because I really do like these Gateway Millennium keyboards from 2000. Hello, Windows. You gonna wake up now?
4. Time to wake up now.
Okay, we reached the desktop. I was playing with the little screen on the front. Anyways, press Ctrl-Delete to unlock. And this is where the keyboard becomes. Oh, never mind. It's just that slow. Oh, hey, the fans are ramping up. Hey, we have a desktop! Woohoo! Fun fact, the task manager is a little bit different in this version. See, notice how it doesn't have the graph there. It just has dots. CPU, memory, and that's it. That's all that matters. 1.7 out of 64 gigabytes. Finally, a machine that can comfortably run Google Chrome. Do we have our drives? Do they recognize in Windows? The answer is no. diskmgmt.msc. Basically, the Windows version of not disk management. What is this? That's weird. I thought I formatted it. The GPT partition style is not recognized by all previous versions of Windows, but it is by Macintosh. Alright, so why is it two separate ones now? I think I broke the simulation. It's supposed to be RAID 0. The important part is we can have a Windows system. Actually, maybe I do want to leave those uninitialized so I can get Hyper-V running first. So what we can do over here, work groove. Okay, that's not what I want. So I don't have this. I'm not gonna have this set up as a whatever yet. Believe it or not, one of the main reasons I decided to go with Windows Server, and specifically with a desktop experience, is so I can also run Windows programs that will be useful, especially if I want to make this a game. If I want to make this run as a game server too, which I actually that's probably not what I want to do, because I have another server that kind of needs use, and that virtualization might take care of that on there. That one is probably actually I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I'm going to install on that yet. That's for part 2 though. I do know that the 1950 is going to be running 2012's R2 again. Just need Hyper-V. That's all we need at the moment. Starting installation. Woo! Let me also state that it is not 11:08 p.m. Not even close. I can close this, but I don't want to. It seems to have come up with an error. Okay, it did not like that. Alright. I think we can close it, then. And just go ahead. Yeah. I can shut down. This is planned. Doesn't force me to come up with a reason like Server 2003 does. That's what you call a basic shutdown screen. Okay, we will be back. Filming equipment has seen a little bit of an upgrade, as in the tripod is upgraded now. And I think it's about time to boot all of these servers up. I'm about to plug everything in for the first time since Monday. I'm going to start this one at first because this one is going to be the loudest. I also do hope that that one does not complain now because I'm running on one power supply. I just took this one out because I like to not destroy the power bill. Alright, so we have the master power cable here that goes to that power strip. I don't know. We're gonna find out. And hopefully not blow the server up. Okay. We have lights. We have light in this server. This one is not sure the status of this one yet. Oh, okay, yeah, this one is definitely receiving power, that's for sure. And now we apply power to the other Dell server. Can I do it, actually? We have life. I also did reconfigure the RAID card in that one, and now there is there is 2 separate cables going to the backplane board. That's the intrusion board. Okay. Just for fun, let's boot up the old 1950 over here. This one out. We're getting our setup on this one. This one should just automatically start into Windows Server. Man, this server seriously has a problem with the way I have it configured. Either that or it's reading off the previous server. Okay, yeah, we don't want this anymore. go. That's gonna be the name for now until I come up with something better. Now it's rebooting. We're gonna go ahead and pull the plug from this one. This one I'm not gonna shut back down. So see how this one's doing. No, you don't. It's my evil layer. Oh hey, yeah, we had activity on here. Ah. Success. Everybody. Yeah, sure, allow it to be seen. Honestly, I'm not quite sure what else to do with this video because the next video is going to be deploying all of these at once. And this thing, to deploy it, is going to require that's not going to do the hyper-V stuff. So I guess to leave off this video, I will also probably get a background for these two servers. This one's not going to have a background. This here. Let's see the usage of everything. I don't know, actually. We're going to see if this computer can run Google Chrome. I'm aware that I'm about to view a page over secure connection. Oh yeah, I can't wait to get rid of Internet Explorer. Now I can install Chrome on Windows Server. This is going to be fun. Alright. We have Google Chrome now. There we go. Let's just install the newest looking version. 12.1 Master. That, I believe, is the one that we want. And because we're downloading over an Ethernet connection, it should be somewhat fast. By the way, I did change the name of the server from Hyperspeed to Hyperspace. Just some cooler. Okay, well I guess we have the ISO now. It's somewhere. Oh, cool. So, we're done here. And we're going to go and shut down the server for now. Until we are ready to deploy everything. That said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the night sky. Thank you very much, Tech Renew, but this box is probably going to be one of the most invasive things on my life ever. Just saying.
All the on-screen instructions. What if I don't want to do that?